Michael Thomas was a name you had to whisper in these parts prior to this week. 2.5 years on from denying Liverpool a title, he joins their gathering title charge. Thomas plays because Jan Molby is an absentee. Otherwise, it's the team that won at Tottenham on Wednesday, with Mark Walters returning as a substitute. Steve McMahon partners Thomas in the engine room. I wonder how many more times that'll happen. This is the third farewell appearance McMahon has made for Liverpool. He's been on the verge of joining City all week, but Peter Reid will put all that to the back of his mind as he returns to active duty today after 5 weeks nursing a rib injury. Reid is without the services of Andy Hill because of hamstring trouble, so Ian Brightwell switches to right back and Mike Sheeran comes back into the team. David White, who scored twice against Liverpool at Main Road at the start of the season, plays alongside Niall Quinn in attack. David Phillips of Barnsley is the man in charge. It's another big crowd here at Anfield, but no more interested spectator than the Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson taking a personal check on Liverpool's progress. Liverpool have won their last 3 games now and won them pretty impressively, but both Spurs and Forest tried to take Liverpool on at their own game last week. Manchester City are aiming to provide a more stubborn and forthright test of the Anfield recovery. Peter Reid has promised a significant rise in the number of tackles made today, and Liverpool wouldn't expect anything less from him. Here's Steve McManaman. Adrian Heath operating in midfield. It's a goal kick. Only goals difference separates 4th place Liverpool from 5th place City, and both of them from 3rd place Sheffield Wednesday for that matter. But 12 points separate Liverpool from the league leaders. It was 15 this time last week. Houghton. Turned away from it by Heath, but only into the path of Michael Thomas. Looking for Saunders, who'd peeled away to stay onside. It's a strong back pass by Ian Brightwell. It's too strong. Tony Coton couldn't rescue it, and Brightwell has conceded an unnecessary corner. Both Nick Tanner and Mark Ryder making their way forward to give Tony Coton something extra to think about. Burrow's cross headed on by Thomas. 6 weeks since he started a game, Michael Thomas had 38 minutes as a substitute for Jan Molby at White Hart Lane on Wednesday. But Molby's going to be out for a couple of weeks with that toe infection. Throwing is Manchester City's. Reid going in courageously. When does he ever do anything else? Michael Hughes taking a leaf out of his manager's book. Keith Curle. Niall Quinn was stationary because he was concerned about drifting into an offside position. Saunders to McMahon. David Burrows. Steve Nicol. Mike Sheeran back there to police him. Houghton. Saunders. Setting himself for a shot. It's there! Tony Coton lost it. And Dean Saunders has found the net again. 9 minutes gone. The Popites celebrate. And Dean Saunders is really back in business. But Tony Coton just lost the flight of the shot altogether. It must have moved in the air. He was maybe masked by his skipper Keith Curle, and he dived past it. And Dean Saunders, who completed a century of league goals at White Hart Lane on Wednesday, sets off in search of another 100. He won't need telling. Dean Saunders 15th of the season. Liverpool have actually scored more goals in cup football this season than they have in the league. They've not been doing much better than a goal a game, just 23 now in this their 20th match. It's a paltry striking rate that's putting their own defence under pressure, but that's holding up well. Only Leeds and Manchester United have conceded fewer goals. But Liverpool have yet to give anybody a real pasting this season in the First Division. They're off to a great start here. Curl's free kick dealt with by Mark Wright in summary fashion. Keith Curl. Niall Quinn. David White's onside, tried to take it early, but David Burrows put him under sufficient pressure. It was well delivered for White. He found some space in behind Wright, who was pushing up, but the shot didn't carry the necessary power. Mike Marn. Poynton's header. White for Reed, trying to settle it down. Instead gives it away to Thomas. Right for Burrows. Saunders ahead of him down the touchline. Nicol. Onside David Burrows. Onside Michael Thomas. Manchester City undone. Oh, we've only pulled it back. Oh, Coton almost did it for him. Saunders stopped. But Michael Thomas had two crying for the cutback. Again, Tony Coton's handling a little suspect. He's having such a good season, the Manchester City goalkeeper. But it's a little short of goodwill to all men down there at the moment. Not much yo-ho-ho about. Liverpool have the free kick. Mike Marn. Spooned up towards Nicol, dealt with by Brightwell and then by Shearer. David Burrows. Headed by Poynton this time. David White, a lonely blue shirt forward. The cavalry's arriving, but so too is Steve McMahon. Jones for McManaman. Rob Jones has got on. And again, Liverpool have got in behind Manchester City. And this time Coton holds on. He was part of the England B squad that took on the Spanish Olympic team in midweek, Tony Coton, although he didn't get a run out. And City are very disappointed about that because they feel he's playing better than any keeper in the country at the moment, but he's had a torrid start today. Heath. White. Turn was beyond Heath, and the back pass by Jones was almost beyond Grobbelaar, who had actually come wide so that Jones could play a back pass, which wasn't going to be on target, but Jones played it quickly, and Grobbelaar was almost caught going the wrong way. Jones losing out to Heath. Return ball from Quinn. Hughes in support. Michael Hughes, I think, would have preferred that to feet, although he's managed to salvage a corner off Mark Wright. Curl and Redmond are on the way. Quinn taking up station on the near post. It's in towards Quinn. Grobbelaar's punch fell kindly for Dean Saunders. Big responsibility on him with so much hung into Niall Quinn today. It's a big challenge for him, a challenge he'll relish to come for as much of it as he can himself. Quinn thought he was pushed then, ran away from Sheeran, and Rob Jones got in the clearance. Brightwell. It's only the 9th First Division match that Rob Jones has played, but he's exceeded all Liverpool's expectations. Graham Souness was saying to me in the week, we're holding our breath, waiting for him to do something wrong, but he's done nothing wrong yet. Houghton finding McManaman. Redmond had a handful of Steve McManaman shirts, spotted by David Phillips. To be a Liverpool free kick for which Mark Wright will venture forward. Nicol. Trying to drive it into the path of Jones, and he's found him too. And that's a useful ball which Steve Redmond poked into the cop. The same terracing from which he used to watch Liverpool in his boyhood days. There are actually 3 ex-Liverpool fans in the Manchester City team today. Mike Sheeran and Peter Reid are the other 2. Ray Houghton with a corner. In towards Tanner. Cleared by Poynton. Almost came for Thomas. Will come for McMahon. Offside. Nick Tanner just strayed beyond the blue line. It was a thin blue line though. Just started to backpedal towards the Manchester City goal. Hughes, he really did have an outstanding first half against Queen's Park Rangers last week. Offside there. I don't think it was White. It might just have been Niall Quinn to the left of him. White was off target anyway. But Hughes, with these twisting, turning runs, commits defenders. And he's deft enough to play that kind of pass. A white flagged. Thomas's header. Redmond's header. Then McMahon's. Then Hughes's. White getting it down on terra firma. Houghton though feeding Thomas, and here's McManaman in space for Dean Saunders. Offside flag. It was tight. Good tight Liverpool interpassing. They're finding their passing rhythm again. And that's bad news for the rest. Is handling Quinn pretty well at the moment. It's no stone a test for a centre-half these days. And McMahon handling himself very well, although running into trouble there. And here's Reid on towards Sheeran. Just took on a little bit too much then, Steve McMahon. Adrian Heath got to him. Right well. Headed by Tanner, very brave. Curl. Tanner's there again. Falls for Sheeran, falls for Quinn, just couldn't turn quickly enough. Rob Jones had to scoop it away. Mike Sheeran arriving late on the scene. Almost tiptoed into a goal-scoring position then. An incident under conversation in the Liverpool rearguard. But they've got a corner kick to turn their minds to. Adrian Heath. It's a hanger by the near post. Play on, says the referee. Roblar rather nonchalantly pulled it into him and then threw it away again. Right well into White. Tanner not for the first time with an important header. Keith Curl. Reid winning it well. Curl again. Heath. Right well. Intercepted by McManaman. Liverpool on the break with Dean Saunders. McManaman to his left, virtually nothing to his right. He's held it up well, and then, having done the difficult bit, played the pass a good 5 yards behind the advancing Jones. White. Thomas's header, McManaman. Right well missed it. McManaman with Thomas again in support. Nicol to his left. Burrows now. Thomas. And Brightwell atoning for his earlier slip. Michael Hughes. Neil Poynton. Really is an absorbing and thrilling match. Niall Quinn. Steve Redmond. Neil Poynton. Michael Hughes. Header by Wright, but Quinn just jumped into him then. Never going to reach it. Just not in his nature not to go for a ball in the air. For Quinn again. Wright is there with him again, and the wind takes over again. Against McManaman. Ian Brightwell. Quinn got the knockdown this time, heated to the path of White. They may be over-elaborated. Adrian Heath's been so long without a goal in the First Division. And he's such an unselfish player, but perhaps he should have been a bit more selfish then. White was well placed, but he couldn't gather it. Dean Saunders for Steve McManaman at the other end. Good save by Coton. That's got that Saunders goal out of his system. He had to be sharply down then. Manchester City short on numbers. Dean Saunders picking out the Liverpool number 9, and Tony Coton picking out the ball. David White appeals for handball. Leon says the referee. Thomas curl in ahead of Saunders. Run through McMahon, that takes some doing. Keith Curl. Well, it was marginally closer to the goal than it was to the corner flag. It was both a crack. He is a leader by example, Keith Curl. And to break a Steve McMahon tackle is something to tell the grandchildren about. What I've got to tell you about at half-time is a goal by Dean Saunders, only his 4th in the league this season, which will help him put behind in the memory of the penalty which he missed against Manchester City earlier in the season. Tony Coton won't wish to remember it, but there was plenty else to remember the first half by. At the interval, it's Liverpool hold the advantage, but there's plenty more to come from Anfield. To Anfield, a stage purpose-built for atmospheric whirlwind matches such as this one. The point was made in the week that both Leeds and Manchester United have still to come here. What wasn't mentioned was that those two games are on successive Saturdays in late April, slap bang in the middle of the finishing straight of this season's title race. Liverpool's run-in from Easter Saturday reads home to Leeds, away to Arsenal, home to Manchester United, away to Sheffield Wednesday. All they've got to do is get close enough to make their mark in those closing furlongs. They've made their mark on this match already with the early goal from Dean Saunders, but Manchester City far from out of it. Nick Tanner. Saunders is looking for the one over the top. Curl ensuring that it doesn't get over the top. Burrows. Houghton. Burrows was impeded right under the referee's nose there by Mike Sheeran as he chased that clever little flick from Ray Houghton. Sheeran just levering him to the ground. McMahon with a free kick to Burrows, and Sheeran gets in a cleaner challenge this time. Heath on for White. Just watch him stretch his legs. Mark Wright's no slouch. But he had a couple of yards start there, the Liverpool skipper. Sheeran back for Brightwell. In towards Quinn, he missed it. Houghton then missed it. Heath went in. It's broken for Reed. Brightwell still forward. Quinn's there. Went to chest it down rather than get his head to it. Reed. Hughes. Stopped by Rob Jones. Good contest that between Jones and Hughes, two 20-year-olds. Hughes has already been capped by his country, Northern Ireland. Jones is actually Welsh-born, but he's an England youth international, and England is the country he wants to represent. Quinn on towards White, he got there this time! Oh, didn't he just? 3 minutes into the second half, it's him again. David White's third goal of the season against Liverpool levels it up. And just about the most famous old 1-2 in the First Division. The head of Niall Quinn and the speed of David White, and this time the finish to match. Lifted it sweetly over the head of the Liverpool goalkeeper. 4 games in a row now David White has scored. And that goal puts Manchester City back on terms. And the strains of Blue Moon echo around Anfield. Manchester City right back in it. It was a stylish finish by David White. Bruce Grobbelaar on the edge of his 6-yard box in the right position, but nothing he could do about the finish. Curl's free kick. Quinn's there again, this time trying to provide for Hughes, but Rob Jones is back there with him. But Niall Quinn's height was always going to be a factor in this match, whatever Mark Wright did. And that little headed flick was made to count by David White. Quinn again. Tanner clear this time. Quinn into the path of Neil Poynton. A rampaging run and a useful cross, and Nick Tanner has to take evasive action. Staring into the cop, unaware what might be happening behind him. Manchester City certainly finished the first half strongly, and they picked up where they left off. Adrian Heath encountering a little turbulence. So's the match. Well, it's difficult to judge them, but that one missed the near post by 3 or 4 yards. Fixture went all the way to the wire last season. Manchester City were one up, I should say, until late in the game, and Liverpool scored twice in quick succession, and now Quinn rescued it at the death. McMahon. Burrows. Good ball from McMahon to Thomas, on by McManaman. Thomas always looking to get forward. And that's his end. Quinn. Hughes. Adrian Heath trying trying to steal in. Mark Wright in the way. Dean Saunders making it awkward for Redmond. Nothing he couldn't deal with, though. Still lives on Merseyside, Steve Redmond. Quinn was looking for a free kick then. Referee signalling a Liverpool throw. Heath. Tanner. Burrows. Nicholas made a run beyond him down the left-hand side. McMahon trying to pick him out. Love to be out there in the middle doing something about it. He said this week that he envies Peter Reid for still being a player. There's about 4 years between the two managers. White's in again. He scored again! David White strikes twice in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. Off the woodwork again. But no doubt that won't cross the line. How did he squeeze it in from there? Brightwell's hanger caused all the uncertainty in the Liverpool rearguard. Grobbelaar was committed to receive the back pass, but Tanner never got to it. David White. 2 goals to put Manchester City's noses in front. And Liverpool will be sick at the sight of him. Both goals lofted in quite beautifully by a player whose power and pace has never been under any question, but has sometimes lacked that kind of finesse and steadiness in his game. But Bruce Grobbelaar, twice beaten, and in much the same way each time. Saunders. Manchester City haven't completed a league double over Liverpool since the war, not since 1937. But they're on course for their second win of the season over Liverpool now. While Steve McMahon's afternoon has come to an end, it may still be a very significant day for him, depending on transfer talks after the match. But for now, Mark Walters, who's been out of action for the last 8 games because of a hamstring injury picked up at Port Vale a month ago, will replace McMahon. And Liverpool will have to reshuffle, move Ray Houghton into the centre of midfield and push Steve Nicol out to the right with Walters there on the left. Last 20 minutes. Quinn got a touch on again, and White's there again, and Grobbelaar's lost it and found it. There's never a dull moment, is there? Actually broke off the back of Mark Wright, that one. Whoops. Thank you. Jones. Burrows. Walters has space wide on the left-hand side, trying to stretch the play and create some space down the middle. Not much of that. Here is Walters. Steve Nicol almost ghosted in front of him then. Houghton. Mike Marsh. Pull behind Saunders. Nicol! 8 minutes to spare. Steve Nicol with the rescue goal. 2-2. Steve Nicol's first goal for 9 months is perfectly timed. And it was the substitute, Mike Marsh, who set it up. Pulled back behind everybody, and Nicol arriving at a rate of knots, dispatched it at a rate of knots. Full credit to Mike Marsh. It was exactly the right ball and exactly the right finish. We've got some finish now. 2-2. The 82nd minute. David White penalised for a foul on Nick Tanner. 2-2 last year in the fixture with a dramatic finish. 2-2 this year. Plenty of drama, but is it finished? Here's Michael Thomas. Curl got back there. Marsh has got it back. Mark Walters. Tony Coton blocked out the line at the near post. Walters has got problems again with his hamstring. Liverpool's injury torment continues.